in this video, we're going to be looking at how to write an article. First, before we start, we need to know who our audience is. So who's going to be reading this article? Is it going to be college students? Is it going to be English-speaking college students or foreign national college students, foreign students? Is this an article for a national magazine? So is it going to be read by the general public? We need to know who is going to be reading this article. And according to that, we need to use the correct vocabulary. When writing an article, we need to grab the reader's attention straight away. So the reader who is going to read my article, I need to grab their attention, and I can do that in two different ways. You can choose one of these, or you can use both. You can start with a rhetorical question, and this is a question that you ask, but you do not expect an answer. This is just to get attention. For example, are you tired of your current job? It's a question that you're asking straight at the beginning of the article, and you want the reader to think about it. As soon as they start thinking about what you've written, you've already got their attention. A different way of grabbing a reader's attention is by giving fact. For example, 85% of workers are not happy in the job they are in. So you've given a fact and you've backed it up with this statistic. That also gets the reader's attention. It's important to use idioms. Idioms are what we use in general English. We use it in everyday conversation. Remember your audience. We're talking to public. We're talking to people from a college maybe. Our audience is going to be the general people, general public. We need to write to suit their interests and their level. So if you start writing using very academic English, you might lose the interest of some of your readers. Using idioms, at least you keep your readers' attention, and you're using the same type of English that your readers use in everyday conversation or everyday communication. And also in an article, do not be afraid of giving your opinion. Don't be shy to let your readers know what you think. Let your readers know your opinion. So, for example, this is not an IELTS Task 1 writing where you're only analyzing a graph or a chart. Here, be free to give your opinion. So now we're going to look at a sample article. This is an article that I've already read, and this is the title. Advice for foreign students on how to meet new people. Let's say we need to write this article. For example, it's going to go in the college magazine, or it's going to be in a column of the newspaper or wherever. So this is my title. I'm giving advice to foreign students on how to meet new people. So remember, we said that we need to grab the reader's attention right at the beginning. And we said either by using a rhetorical question, a question I do not need the answer to right now, or a fact. And this is how I've started, using a rhetorical question. You'll see throughout that I've also used idioms, because that was another thing we said. We need to keep with the same level of English as our readers. Have you recently moved to the UK? My reader is foreign students, so I need to ask a question relating to foreign students. Have you recently moved to the UK? Are you new here? Hoping to meet people and improve your English? There's a great saying, fortune favors the bold. So this is an idiom, which means you will only succeed if you leave your comfort zone and work hard. Comfort zone, it's where you feel comfortable. Your comfort zone is when you do not want to take risks. You want to do stuff that you're used to. You want to do things, or you want to live your life in a very non-risky manner. That's called your comfort zone. So you will only succeed if you leave your comfort zone and work hard. So in this article, I will give you my 2 cents worth of tips and advice. My 2 cents worth of tips and advice, it means I'm thinking my advice is very little, it's very small, it's very insignificant. It's only worth 2 cents, but still I want to share it with you. On how I met new people after I came here. So you can tell from this part that, for example, the person who's writing this article is themselves, she herself is a foreign student. Now, I wrote this, but I am pretending like I'm a foreign student. When you first come to the UK, everything is new and unfamiliar. So this is my first sentence in the paragraph, and it's already preparing my reader that, oh, this paragraph is going to be talking about when this person first came. We call it topic sentence, and it introduces what this paragraph is about. So when you first come to the UK, everything is new and unfamiliar, but that's okay. It adds to the excitement. Now here, pay attention. I'm using very everyday English, and that's the whole idea of an article, in that we remember who our reader is. Our reader is not specifically a professor. It's going to be the general public. So I need to use English that is suitable to my reader. That's okay. It adds to the excitement. ESOL students or foreign students are expected to feel lost and unsure about what they do. So that's okay. I find the people here are generally quite friendly and will go out of their way to help. I find, I've used the verb find. It means I find, I see, or in my opinion. This is a great way of saying I think or I believe. So when you say I find, it means you are going to introduce an opinion or a belief that you have. I find the people here are generally quite friendly and will go out of their way to help. They will actually help a lot more than you expect. They will go out of their way, meaning they will do more than they have to. Therefore, my first piece of advice would be to ask for help as often as needed and not to be shy. So my advice is, go out and ask for help and don't be shy. You're not expected to know everything yet. So again, I'm constantly writing according to my reader. It's like I'm talking to my reader. One of the great things about life in the UK is the culture of meeting up with friends after work or college. So again, this is a new paragraph, and here the reader knows that now I'm not going to be giving advice anymore about, oh, it's okay that you're new, don't be scared. I'm actually talking about something different here. I'm talking about meeting up with friends and the fact that this is part of socializing in the UK. So this again is my topic sentence. Every paragraph has to have a topic sentence. It has to introduce what the paragraph is to the reader. So one of the great things about life in the UK is the culture of meeting up with friends after work or college. Friends get together at a bar, restaurant or cafe and just go over everything they've done that day. So people get together, they congregate at a specific bar, restaurant or cafe, and they go over, which means they talk about or they review what they have done that day. Finding people to go out with will indefinitely help you gain confidence in your English as well as your socializing skills. So here I'm actually giving advice. Finding people to go out with will help you. This is one way of giving advice. When we give advice, we don't have to use the second conditional, if I were you, I would go out. We can give advice in a variety of forms. So previously, for instance, here I said my first advice would be to ask for help. I'm giving advice. Here, I'm using a different technique. Finding people to go out with will help you. So basically, I'm saying go out and this will help you. You could say you're killing two birds with one stone. So here I've thrown in another idiom, and I've used an idiom because I'm trying to say if you go out, you will meet friends, which is great, but also you'll gain confidence. So you're doing two things at the same time. And we have a lovely idiom in English for that. That is killing two birds with one stone. Of course, there are many other ways of meeting new people too. So now here, I haven't even finished the sentence yet. My reader hopefully will already know that now I am concluding my article. There are many other ways of meeting new people too, but the ones mentioned above, the ones I've talked about above, seem to be the most effective means of acquainting yourself with strangers. So they seem to be. This is my opinion. It's not a fact. It's not something that everybody has to follow. It's my opinion. So it seems to be the most effective means of acquainting yourself with strangers. Means methods, different ways of doing something. Effective methods of acquainting yourself. To acquaint yourself, it means to get to know other people, to introduce yourself and get to know other people. And remember, if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. Again, I've got another idiom here. Don't give up, keep trying, because practice makes perfect. If you practice, you become a professional, you become a pro. So there you have it. This is an article that I wrote, and the title was Advice for Foreign Students on How to Meet New People. And in this article, as I've shown you, I have tried to meet all these different criteria. I remembered who my audience is, and I tried to write according to the level of English or the interest of my audience. I grabbed my reader's attention right at the beginning by using a rhetorical question, and I'm quickly going to go over it. Have you recently moved to the UK? Are you new here, hoping to meet people? These are all rhetorical questions because I do not expect the reader to get back to me and say, oh yes, Layla, I've just moved here. So it's a rhetorical question. You could even use a fact. I used lots of idioms because I'm trying to connect with my audience. And finally, I gave my opinion that what I've just talked about seem to be suitable means of acquainting yourself. I hope you find this video useful. Thank you.